They're everything you say, but so much more.
Wonder Woman, created by William Moulton Marston, is arguably one of the most renowned superheroes in the comics. She has been deemed a symbol of woman empowerment due to the combination of her beauty, brains, and brawn ever since her debut in DC Comics in 1941. She was born on the island of Themyscira, also known as Paradise Island, populated by Amazon women. We've seen Diana, aka Wonder Woman, growing up as a child throughout movies and comics. Does that mean the secret island of Themyscira has babies crawling around? In the real world, men play a vital role in making babies, which is forbidden in this case. So, how does it work here? Well, today, we will explore the mysterious reproduction methods used by Wonder Woman's people to reproduce babies. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Ares poisoned men's hearts with jealousy and suspicion. He turned
Exploring the dark side of Amazonian reproduction. Throughout the DC universe, the history of Amazons and their reproduction methods have been depicted positively or neutrally by focusing on their cultures as a warrior society of strong female characters with mystical origins. However, it must be noted that various comic book writers and authors have explored its darker themes too. In the Elseworld timelines, the creators have used particularly darker and more mature narratives to represent the Amazons in a different light. Here are some notable versions of their reproduction methods. Divine creation. It has been suggested that the Amazons were created by the Greek goddesses of Olympus, namely Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Aphrodite, and Hestia. In this interpretation, around 12,000 BC, when Zeus, husband of Hera, did not consent to allow the creation of the Amazon women, all 5 goddesses descended into the underworld together. They used the Cavern of Souls to resurrect thousands of superhuman adult women. Clay sculpting. In the Golden Age origins of Wonder Woman, Queen Hippolyta molded a baby girl out of clay from a Greek lake, and the gods of Olympus brought it to life, thus creating Princess Diana. This version also emphasizes the divine and mystical creation of her origins, immortality and replacement. In certain storylines, the Amazons have been portrayed as immortal, who neither age nor need any traditional form of reproduction. Instead, their numbers remain fixed by adopting or recruiting exceptional women from the outside world and integrating them into their society, raping men. This is perhaps the most controversial take on the Amazonian origins ever made in the history of comics. This interpretation paints a rather shocking image of the Amazons as a race of ruthless and savage women when it comes to procreation. It is said that the Amazon women would travel across the sea to look for men and use them as their tools for childbirth. Later, these unfortunate men would either drown or be slaughtered by them in cold blood. What's worse, back in Themyscira, after giving birth, the Amazon women would only choose female infants over males. While the first 3 include a divine intervention regarding their reproduction methods, the Amazonian practice of violating men has garnered much attention. Being repulsive and terrifying simultaneously, the final interpretation highlights the brutal nature of the Amazon women, and it does justify the fact that they loathe the world of men so much, which we will discuss in the next segment. Who are the sons of Themyscira? Lavonja Waters states, "A kiss seals 2 souls for a moment in time." However, it takes more work to romanticize an Amazon. In Wonder Woman Volume 4, Issue 7, by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang, we get a sneak peek of Diana visiting Florence, Italy, to meet Eros, the god of desire and attraction, for collecting a bunch of weapons to fight against Hades, the god of war, and rescue Zola, the human form of goddess Athena. She is accompanied by her allies Hermes and Lennox. As per Eros, such weapons can only be crafted by the Olympian smith god Hephaestus, who initially forged her lasso of truth. While discussing weapons, they were interrupted by a sudden attack deep beneath Mount Etna, where Hades sent a lava alligator. Diana was able to defeat the creature strategically by pouring water on it. This cooled the beast off, and then she used her lasso to shatter it into pieces. Later, she discovers that most of Hephaestus's workers are men instead of automatons. Surprisingly, each has Amazonian blood. Here, Diana learns from Hephaestus that these are the sons of Themyscira, discarded forever by their Amazon mothers and sisters. Legend states that the Amazonian sisters would carry out daring raids on ships and vessels similar to infamous pirates every 33 years. Their target was to capture men and utilize their lethal seduction skills to trap them. Men were regarded as mere instruments for mating purposes by the Amazons, and once they were impregnated, these men were disposed of rather than wedded. After completing their mission, the Amazons would return to their native land and wait 9 months until their birth. After that time frame, the Amazons would commemorate the arrival of a baby girl. However, if a baby boy were born, he would be thrown into the sea or traded to Hephaestus in exchange for weapons. Since then, he has provided shelter to thousands of men who were cast aside and always been a fatherly figure to them. Despite all the glory and heroic tales brought in by the Amazon women, this rampant brutality across the DC universe leads us to ask, why do the Amazon women hate men so much? In Wonder Woman Volume 4, Issue 7, Diana motivated the sons to consider reuniting with their Amazon mothers and sisters. However, they pleaded to spare their lives, and also Hephaestus' life. Hephaestus is one of them and was abandoned by his mother, Hera. Moreover, they owe their existence to him and have found contentment, living with him as artists in his forge. In Wonder Woman Volume 4, Issue 39, she did everything she could to establish a truce between the Sons and the Amazons by creating a settlement for peace and harmony in Themyscira. The negotiations with the Amazons didn't go as planned because of the harsh rule regarding their strained relationship with men. Therefore, the gates would remain closed forever. Nisos, one of the sons, indicates that they don't believe the Amazons to accept them for good. Nonetheless, Diana was entrusted to ensure their safety and security, but by then it was too late, since they were invaded by a surprise attack from Amazon troops, commandeered by Donna Troy, leading to their death. After hearing about the outcome, Diana subdued Donna. After defeating her, she honoured the dead sons by giving them a proper funeral on Amazonian soil. Her heart sank when she stumbled on one of the sons, Anastasius, who had miraculously survived the tragic event and was hiding in the jungles of Themyscira. She witnessed the physical wounds he had received from the massacre, such as an amputated arm, some fatal scars on his body and a missing left eye. Diana tried to comfort him. Feeling devastated by the barbarism he and his sons experienced, Anastasius begged to remain dead instead. In Wonder Woman Volume 5, Issue 34, we further learn about another character of the Sons of Themyscira. In the New 52 timeline, Queen Hippolyta was pregnant with Zeus's twin children, a son and a daughter, named Diana and Jason. In this timeline, Jason was named after the leader of the Argonauts, Jason of Lolcus. He was born with powers similar to his demigod twin sister and the abilities of an Argonaut, such as fishing, deception, seamanship, spear proficiency, and advanced hand-to-hand combat skills. Due to the stringent rules of Themyscira and escape from Hera's wrath, Hippolyta took specific steps to ensure her son's survival. She gave him away to Glaucus, an Argonaut, and since then, he has been raised only as an Argonaut, embodied with demigod traits. The history of the Sons of Themyscira had a sad touch with Diana's experiences, but it was eventually revealed to be a multi-layered illusion in the DC Rebirth timeline. Hercules and his terrible past with the Amazons. In support of the question of why do the Amazon women hate men so much, we uncovered the root cause of the hatred. Hercules is often depicted as a negative character in the comics and Greek mythos. In the Golden Age comics, Hercules stumbles upon Themyscira in a search of the golden girdle of Gaia from Hippolyta. Hippolyta fought like a boss and retrieved the girdle from Hercules, but instead of punishing him for treason of theft, she invited him to her sacred fortress, which in fact was a big mistake. He took advantage of the Amazons' hospitality and dominated their habitat. He and his army physically tortured them and made them obey his commands. A similar incident occurred in the first issue of Wonder Woman Earth 1, 2016. A merciless Hercules and his Greek army took over their territory and imprisoned them. Hippolyta and her sisters underwent a series of torturous activities at his hands. Day by day she prayed to Aphrodite to escape from him. The daily enchanting made her realize Hercules is nothing without the stolen girdle. By playing the fool out of Hercules, she took the girdle from his waist, wrapped her chains around his neck, and snapped him. By doing so, she set her sisters free and forcefully slaughtered him and his men in cold blood. After the victorious battle, Hippolyta wished for a safe habitat to remain hidden from man's world and live in peace. And so Aphrodite granted Themyscira. 3,000 years later, it remained the home to Hippolyta and her sisters. Indeed, it's a valid reason for the Amazonian hatred for men, but it's also noted as controversial by both critics and readers. How did Diana come into existence? The creators and the writers have made several versions of Princess Diana's existence in the DC universe. In some origins, she was the daughter of Zeus, while in others she was the daughter of Hades. Amongst all iterations of her, only one thing remains unchanged. The character is made from clay and is the daughter of Themyscira, as shown in the 2017 film Wonder Woman. In the movie, Hippolyta, yearning for a daughter, sculpts her and enchants Zeus to bring her to life. But does the film stay faithful to the source material? In the New 52, Queen Hippolyta and Zeus had a romantic relationship, resulting in the birth of Diana. In the movie, Ares confirms that she is the daughter of Zeus, making her a demigoddess and giving her immense power during her final battle with him. She is both an Amazon and of godly descent. Despite the virtuous and ethical values of the Amazon society, they have committed numerous crimes. In the Flashpoint story arc, Wonder Woman led her Amazon sisters in a war to dominate the world, but that is a story for another day. Conclusion. So, there you have it, folks. The unexpected revelation about Amazonian reproduction methods reminds us that this creative change in the long-established characters had a profound impact on the comic community and could be met with mixed feelings in the future. But what are your thoughts on this? Let us know, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, Marvelous Videos, for more discussions on iconic comic book characters.